Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore a skill that's, well, it's at the very heart of every successful hotel operation. It is truly the foundation for the experiences you'll create and the careers you are going to build. As a hotel AI expert specializing in modern operations, I'm so pleased to welcome all of you students from Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. What we've put together here is designed to give you practical, real-world knowledge that will really support your professional growth in this incredible industry. I want to kick things off with a question. In our industry, which is built on things you can see and touch, luxurious rooms, beautiful lobbies, amazing food, what is the single most powerful yet completely invisible tool you have at your disposal? The answer to that is the key to everything we're about to discuss. That tool is communication. I want you to think of it as an invisible thread. It's not something you can physically touch or see, but it's what holds the entire guest experience together. Just think about the power in that statement for a second. This thread connects every single part of our industry. From a guest's very first search online, to their booking call, all the way through to checkout, this thread is what weaves their whole experience together. So, how does this invisible thread create very real, tangible results? It's because communication is never just about exchanging information. It's about forging emotional connections, and those connections directly shape how a guest perceives quality and value, which in turn builds your brand's identity, drives satisfaction, and ultimately secures long-term revenue through guest loyalty. All right, let's see how this all builds, starting right at the very beginning of the guest journey, shaping first impressions, which happens way before a guest even walks through the door. Before a guest ever sees a room or meets you in person, they often reach out with a phone call or an email. That first inquiry is absolutely critical. Your professional, confident interaction immediately starts to build trust. And right there, in that moment, their expectations are being shaped. A positive foundation for their entire stay is set before they've even started packing. The stakes in this first interaction are incredibly high. Just look at the difference. A warm greeting and a quick professional response builds trust instantly. But on the flip side, hesitation, confusion, or a tone of disinterest can completely weaken a guest's confidence right from the start. You truly only get one chance to make that first impression. So, what are the main tools in your toolkit for making that happen? Let's focus on the two channels where these first impressions are most often made: the telephone and, of course, email. Now, each of these has its own unique strengths. The telephone gives you immediacy and a sense of intimacy. Your tone of voice can convey empathy and create a personal connection in seconds. Email, on the other hand, demands absolute clarity and structure. It lets you get into the details, and maybe most importantly, it creates a permanent record of the conversation. And that brings me to a crucial point. Never, ever underestimate the power and the permanence of an email. Unlike a phone call, a written message can be forwarded to management, reviewed by others, and referenced by the guest weeks or even months down the line. This is exactly why absolute professionalism in every single email is completely non-negotiable. Now, mastering the tools is one thing, but to truly excel, we need to elevate the conversation from just a technical skill to the art of human connection. And this is where emotional intelligence comes in. In hospitality, emotional intelligence is really the ability to understand what a guest needs, sometimes even before they can put it into words themselves. It's about responding not just to what they're saying, but to their underlying feelings, with empathy, with patience. This is what truly establishes deep, lasting trust. A key part of this is being adaptable. You simply can't use the same approach for every guest. The efficient business traveler values directness, while a family on vacation will appreciate a lot more warmth and detail. Recognizing these differences, whether they're cultural or situational, and adjusting your style accordingly is really one of the highest forms of service excellence. And this is why all of this matters so much. Years from now, a guest won't remember the exact words you used to solve their problem, but they will absolutely remember the feeling of being heard, understood, and cared for. That feeling, that's the hallmark of true hospitality. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. Excellent communication isn't just about individual interactions. It's about how all of those interactions come together to define your entire brand through consistency, teamwork, and reputation. For the guest experience to feel completely effortless, the work behind the scenes has to be seamless. And that is powered by clear internal communication. When the front desk, housekeeping, and management share information accurately and work together, the guest only ever sees a flawless operation. Any breakdown internally will eventually be felt by the guest.
And consistency is the absolute key to a strong reputation. A guest has to receive the same high level of courtesy and professionalism whether they're talking to a concierge, a reservations agent, or a manager. This uniformity isn't an accident. It is a direct reflection of a brand's commitment to its standards.
So let's end with a crucial shift in mindset. Communication is not just another task on your checklist, it is a professional craft, a skill that you have to consciously develop, practice, and perfect throughout your entire career. Every single interaction, every phone call, every email, every greeting is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to reduce stress, to create joy, and to build a lasting connection. So the only question left is, how will you choose to represent your brand in that moment?